Oi, kumbasika, kumbaya, kumbaya. We will sing kumbaya. We will sing. This place is called Doug Hammers. Doug Hammers. All right, you're welcome to Zambia. What a day. My name is Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya. I'm your host on this podcast. What we do is take a look at what's making news in our beautiful country, Zambia. We also add a bit of commentary and context to this. And I have to tell you, I find some of the comments very interesting. You know, people are also sharing their opinions on what is going on in the country through our podcast. So thank you so much for always being there. What's coming up? The case of the suspended judges is just always going to be popping up. It's always going to be popping up, Because obviously it happened recently and people have got something to say. Everyone has got something to say. So we'll talk about that on the podcast. But also we are talking fake dollars. You won't guess who is involved in this. Displaced residents remain aggrieved. There's also more news that's lined up for you, and this is Mongo Cash for Work residents clean graveyard without PPE. Oh, my goodness. And also, farming season is around the corner, so we'll talk about that as well on the podcast. But let's start with one of the most recent stories, and this has got to do with what constitutional lawyer Tresford Charlie has done. He has filed a petition against President Hakainde Hichilema's decision to suspend 3 constitutional court judges following a recommendation by the Judicial Complaints Commission. The judges are Anstali Mungeni Mulenga and Palan Mulonda. The petitioner argues that the actions of the president, as well as those of the Attorney General and the Judicial Complaints Commission, constitute a gross violation of the Zambian Constitution and could lead to the politicization of the judiciary. He is seeking the court's approval of the petition and in the interim is requesting that the Constitutional Court stays the president's decision on the 23rd of September. Let's listen to this because Best Jerry has been over this story and he brings us a bit more context into what's going on.
A constitutional lawyer, Tresford Charlie, has filed a petition in the Constitutional Court challenging the suspension of 3 judges from the Constitutional Court, Justice Annie Sitali, Justice Mungeni Mulenga, and Justice Palani Mulonda. The judges were suspended by President Hakainde Hichilema on 23 September 2024 following a recommendation from the Judicial Complaints Commission. Mr. Charlie contends that the suspension violates Article 143 and 144 of the Zambian Constitution, which mandates that judges cannot be arbitrarily removed from office. He argues that the actions of the President and the Commission undermine the neutrality and integrity of the judiciary. It is also his argument that the action of the President to suspend the judges will lead to placing judges in politics, explaining that there will be no incentive for lawyers to join the bench and lead to a weak democratic constitutional order. In his petition, Mr. Charlie highlights that the judges have immunity from being sued or disciplined for their judicial decisions. He now seeks an interim order to stay the suspension and certiorari orders to quash both the President's decision and the Judicial Complaints Commission's report. He also seeks a declaration that the President's suspension of the judge is now void. The petitioner emphasizes that the Commission cannot receive complaints against judges based on their interpretation of the law, particularly regarding the case of Hakainde Hichilema and Edgar Lungu of 2016 and other case. Best Jerry, Diamond News.
So before this whole thing, this filing of a petition against the president, John Sangwa, State Counsel, did apply to be joined to this case, and successfully so. This was on Monday at about 15 hours. And what this basically, to be joined as a friend of a court, and that, what it basically means is he's been called in and he will be offering some level of insight into the story. But his position is well known because he's made it clear that based on the decision that was made by the president, by the Constitutional Court previously, because the Constitutional Court ruled itself on this matter, he argues that because of this, what was set was a precedent. And because of that, it's now that the law is understood differently. And so he now says he wants to defend the Constitution in its present form and with what the law says. So it's going to be a very interesting turn of events because President Edgar Lungu is expected to appear today before the Constitutional Court for this case in which his eligibility is going to be evaluated. This is an important thing to talk about now because the 3 Constitutional Court judges that are being discussed right now, the ones that have been suspended, are suspended in connection to this election petition. Well, not this specific one. Oh, actually, no, they're not connected. It was because of the presidential petition in 2016. But they were expected to sit on this bench of the Constitutional Court. Except, obviously, I must also add that the Constitutional Court can sit and make decisions if there's at least 3 people. So when there's at least 3 people, then that can constitute a bench of the Constitutional Court. But there's supposed to be 11, and it's supposed to be an odd number. If the others are not there, whoever is present needs to constitute an odd number so that they can make a decision. Obviously, for obvious reasons, they're not supposed to reach a deadlock. But yeah, they're supposed to sit today, and we'll keep on highlighting some of these stories for you to just be informed on what's going on in Zambia. The Lusaka Magistrate Court has ordered that $100 notes amounting to $1.6 million allegedly found in possession of human rights activist Paul Kasonkomona'S and 4 others at a lodge in Lusaka, Thorn Park, failed critical tests designed to authenticate genuine US dollars. In this matter, Mr. Kasonkomona'S, Martin Wakalala, Alex Mwinde, Joseph Salengeta, and Rogers Nyemba are charged with possession of forged banknotes, contrary to the laws of Zambia. So when the matter came up for trial before Magistrate Trevor Kasanda, the witness, a senior security officer at Bank of Zambia, testified that the suspected counterfeit notes valued at $1.6 million were examined using both physical and mechanized techniques. Let's take a look at this.
On August 2nd, 2024, the Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, revealed that it conducted a successful operation in collaboration with the K9 unit in which it bounced 5 persons at a named lodge in Lusaka's Stone Park after they were allegedly found in possession of fake United States dollar notes. This matter has since commenced before Lusaka Magistrate Court and is on trial. Among the accused persons is human rights activist Paul Kasonkomona'S of Olympia. A senior security officer at Bank of Zambia has told the Lusaka Magistrate Court in his testimony that the $16,517 $100 notes allegedly found in possession of the 5 accused persons at a named lodge in Lusaka Stone Park area have failed critical tests designed to authenticate genuine US notes. In this matter, Mr. Kasonkomona'S, male aged 50 of Olympia, Martin Wakalala, aged 49 from Wembeshi, Alex Mwinde, male aged 59, a businessman of Ndola, Joseph Selengeta, a businessman of Ndola, and Rogers Nyemba of Ndola are charged with possession of forged banknotes. Contrary to Section 358 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia, allegations are that the 4 accused persons on 1st August 2024 in Lusaka, jointly and whilst acting together without lawful authority, did possess 16,517 pieces of 100 United States dollar banknotes, knowing the same to be forged. When the matter came up before Magistrate Trevor Kasanda for trial, the witness, a senior security officer at the Bank of Zambia, testifies that the forged notes worth 1.6 million United States dollars were examined using both physical and mechanized techniques. He says during examination, he discovered that the currency, which consisted of 16,517 $100 bills, failed critical tests designed to authenticate genuine US notes. He says these included discrepancies in security features like color, changing ink, and broken security threads. Additionally, all the bills bore the same serial number, PF 68760083M. The witness has concluded that the notes are counterfeit, as confirmed by a detailed report presented before court. Trial continues. Best Jerry, Diamond News.
All right. So this happened like last month, and I find it interesting because the person that is involved in this is pretty well known. I want to do something. Let me call my colleague because I know that he's one of the people that can contribute on this matter and help describe to you who Kasonkomona'S is. And is it ringing? It's ringing. Yes, it is. You can hear. He's got an old phone, so it's probably not. Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Good, Jonah. How's it?
Good. You're on my podcast.
Okay.
You know a man called Kasonkomona?
Kasonkomana. Yeah, of course I do know Kasonkomana.
What do you know about him?
Two things. One, I think he was one of the people that was pushing for the rights of those that belong to the LGBTQ community. He was advancing their rights. And another thing that I know about him is that now he joined politics. I think he was Secretary General of the Third Liberation Movement.
So you also don't know, like many people, that he was arrested last month, and you won't believe what he was arrested for.
What was he arrested for?
He was found in possession of counterfeit dollar notes.
Oh my goodness! Yes. I read something about him being in possession of counterfeit notes. Yes.
Do you know how much it was?
I remember.
Do you know how much it was?
No, I don't know how much that was.
$1.6 million.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
$1.6 million. And you know the latest the latest information is that the Bank of Zambia has told the court that they tested this money both physically and in using machines, and they're saying that it didn't meet the standard. So they're basically saying these were fake notes.
Wow.
Yeah.
When I read that there was a Kasonkomana that was involved, I didn't think it was him, but I remember seeing, his name being mentioned among those that were arrested in being in possession, of counterfeit notes.
Yeah.
But getting to hear those amounts, I think, makes sense, and it was big. Those are big amounts.
What do you mean he was big, Andrew? I think let's be very cautious with the things we say. Are you saying that he was? Are you saying that he was? What are you saying?
What I'm saying is I didn't realize the gravity of the offense he committed. When the story broke of people being arrested for being in possession of counterfeit notes, US dollars, I think it wasn't mentioned how much the counterfeit notes were. And so now that you've mentioned, it just makes the story even bigger. That it was more than $1 million. That's just way too much.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
All righty. Anyway, Andrew, you've got the privilege of being on my podcast. Thank you so much for being a good chat buddy.
Thanks, Jonah.
Let's move on and talk about the displaced Dark residents remain aggrieved. So the residents of Dark to Misaka 5. What is this? They're calling on the government to finalize. They're calling on government to finalize the realignment of Misaka land to secure their legal ownership. Why is this place called Dag Hammershock? Why is this place called Dag Hammer? Okay, it's called Dag Hammers. This place is called Dag Hammers. Dag, I'm pretty sure they just say Dag. Dag Hammers. These people stay in Dag Hammers. Dag Hammers. Oh my God. Dag Hammarskjöld. I guess that's what it is. But anyway. Okay, they were relocated to pave the way for the construction of the Simon Mwantsakapwepo International Airport, and they have faced disputes with existing landowners in Misaka 5. Let's take a look at this by Lavmo Sondash.
In 2016, over 500 families were relocated from Dag Hammarskjöld to Misaka 5, covering an area of approximately 120 hectares to pave a way for the construction of the Simon Mwantsakapwepo International Airport, a multi-million-dollar project aimed at boosting Zambia's aviation industry. Residents have been living in uncertainty without clear titles to their land.
And move him or her Kuria with the same hectarage. Same hectarage. That's how in 2017 started moving us. When they started moving us,
At the recent roundtable meeting, Transparency International Zambia's Transparency Action Group brought stakeholders together to address the long-standing issues, emphasizing the need for transparency and accountability in land allocation.
Nipali hapo twaikala baisabika po omuntu elo ninshina kabiri twalimo nokuti nefine ndera ndalero ile mpanga iyo bali nokuba ati bababikemu na lero ilife aido.
Transparency Action Group, a resolution is crucial to help residents rebuild their lives.
Expect those results that will benefit them, but also replicated to other areas. We are very much aware that Misaka 5 is a very big farming block, to an extent where, if given a chance, that those farmers that have settled there can be given title deeds, this will be a plus to your government.
The airport's development has brought economic growth to Ndola, creating jobs and stimulating local businesses. But for the displaced, this is the other way around.
Because I know where you are, and there will be transparency. We need things to be done transparently. And that's why government wants to leave it with you, and this group. After your resolutions, our officers will definitely look on those resolutions and then know exactly where to start from, so that we move together.
Lavmo Sondash for Diamond News in Ndola.
All right, we're running out of time, so I gotta keep it quick. Some residents of Mongo District in Western Province, engaged by the council on the Cash for Work program, have expressed concern for operating without PPE. Christine Musole was covering this story. Let's get the context of this.
These are some of the Mongo residents who are on the Cash for Work program. Unfortunately, the tools they are using have not been provided by the government, but they are personal tools meant for home use, and this has raised concerns among them. We were told that the very day we start working, we will be given the tools required. Unfortunately, we have not been given. We are using our own, which are also getting damaged. This is making our work difficult. This is not their only complaint. They do not also have personal prevention equipment. We need gloves, safety boots, as well as masks, because we are working at a graveyard. Sometimes we find remains of babies and we use our bare hands to bury them because dogs dig them out. Why are we not being given the prevention equipment like those we see on TV? He said. I failed to eat yesterday because while working, I touched human waste with my bare hands. And because I was so scared, I threw it at my colleagues. And each time I remember that, my appetite goes. The mayor of Mongo district in the company of the town clerk visited the complainants. You may all be aware that this program came as an emergency intervention, and it wouldn't have been fair for us to stop you from starting the work just because we do not have the tools or prevention equipment. It's just that there are a lot of channels to be followed for us to purchase the required things, but those that will be in the second group will be given, and we apologize for this, he said. Meanwhile, a few of those working from the central business districts have only been given masks and reflector vests. For Diamond News, Christine Musole.
Now. Cash for Work is doing a good job, but just give them the PPE. I think it's a good idea. It's a great idea. Whoever's idea this was a very good idea. The Cash for Work is working, if I may put it that way. So I think it's a very brilliant idea. But they need the PPE. Come on, you have to give them the PPE. They shouldn't even have to ask. All right, let's wrap it up. As farmers gear up for the 2024-25 season for farming, among their first requirements are inputs, and they're concerned that these are very high at the moment. They're spending way too much money on this. So Cecilia Kayamporokoso was covering this story, and she was talking to some farmers and hearing what they have to say. So let's listen to them.
It is a busy time of the year as farmers are preoccupied with preparations for the next farming season. Many are prioritizing buying seed and fertilizer immediately after collecting their money for the maize sold to the Food Reserve Agency (FRA). Among those are non-beneficiaries of the Farmer Input Support Program (FISIP). Some farmers highlighted to Diamond News how preparations are moving. Their concern is the cost of inputs.
Kule ule tontonkanya no kaichi finakwata ko mpesa nile tontonkanya wa kuntanchi kasino wa chishamo bakabaka kwa ishako kuteko wamona no apeti kwa kwa namba 1 kule na apekanya ishimo tumukundo mitengo na ibita so the pueden prefiero kulima kuno ngandiro kumutengo na uishi taweni mutengo na uitu hapa mutengo na udula ukwanisa se size ya kuthiwa lima vese ya kutimwali ase nabana tamulekona nesa leziro ukwanisa kulima matabayenzi mulanda fertilizer ile.
To appreciate what is on the ground, a snap check was conducted among agro dealers in the Central Business District. Most shops have managed to stock maize seed varieties as well as other crop seeds whose range is between 800 and 600 kwacha. But what they do not have is fertilizer.
Because I have to create a reason why the farmers should come and buy from me, not ETG. Of which, if I was to order fertilizer today from ETG, I can't be selling as which is 970, meaning me I'll put my price to be at 1 pin or 1 pin 1. So I think that's the challenge why we don't have fertilizers. But for seed, we're very ready.
Pambuto tukwete kofi 719 tukwata na 647 mwadasanga chama varieties yangu tabada supply.
At the moment we don't have urea. We expect some trucks which are coming to Chinsali within the course of this week.
Only 2 shops are stocked with fertilizer, which is being sold at 959 kwacha for D compound and 1,010 kwacha for urea. Currently, farmers on FISIP are still uncertain on when they are likely to begin redeeming. Cecilia Kayamprokoso, Diamond News, Chinsali, Muchinga Province.
Yeah, they need some support from the government. They need... especially that we're just trying to bounce back and everyone is keeping their fingers crossed for us to be able to get a good season for farming during the season. Hopefully that happens. Thank you so much, beautiful people, for joining me on Zambia What a Day. Oh, no, I wasn't supposed to say it like that. Okay, so let me try to read it. Thank you so much, beautiful people, and wow, Zambia. What a day.